This is running Yio Chu Kang Stadium for the WTC Outdoor Asian Rugby 17. This is the last Asian in Singapore. And the next game, we're going to have Singapore and Thailand for the third final. And this one will be the next time for the working round, for the photographs, the which will have the for this round and have the photo for next game. For the final, Singapore will play Thailand.
For the bowl final here at the Singapore League of the HSBC Asian 7 Series. It's a matchup between the home team Singapore and Thailand. Mike Ree here with you, and in the commentary box a special guest, Chinese Taipei coach Nathan Major. Good to have you here, Nathan, and well done so far in the tournament.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Yeah, much better result for us today, so always pleasing to see that improvement.
Chinese Taipei through to the plate final later on in a couple of games' time, so get the benefit of Nathan's experience and some comments on this game. Now, you've spent a bit of time in the bowl competition this year as a team, Nathan. You'd be happy to get up into the plate realm.
Yeah, I think as a coach, that's what you're striving for, just that continued improvement. So yeah, as long as we're finishing the tournament strong, that's important.
So Thailand straight away go on the front foot through Punyavi. He's strong and fast. Singapore, though, have got some good home support. We saw the cheerleaders before. Chai gets it out to Kamkwat. Kamkwat goes on a dancing run, the captain. Gives it to Apichai. And the first try here for Nutanong. And that's his 8th try of the tournament. 9th try, in fact, of the series. And they've got plenty of pace, the Thais.
Yeah, I think it's, from what I've observed about the Thais, it's certainly a feature of their game. They're pretty good at moving the ball to that space in the wider channels, and they've got fairly good skills, good skill set to execute with. So yeah, that sort of sums up how they play that try there.
So what would you put the improvement down to as a Chinese Taipei coach, Nathan? What sort of areas have you worked on with the guys?
There's various things to consider there. I think just time. Just having time with the team. I think that's probably been the main factor for us as far as one of the reasons why we've improved. Yeah.
And you saw one of your experienced players come back into the fold. He was brilliant yesterday, just nobbled with a knee injury overnight.
Yeah, unfortunately we lost him. He made an instant impact as I suspected he would, but yeah, injuries certainly haven't helped the side over the course of the tournament.
So Thailand with first blood in this bowl final. Kumquat will kick off. It's a beautiful kick off, hanging high. Sisayet's underneath it. So is Mark Cheong. Yao to Mark Chow. Goes diagonally and almost across field to find support on his right wing, but a good covering tackle from the Thais. The Singaporeans have lost one of their influential players too, Brian In with a metatarsal, so got some speed still outside. They've got Jailani.
Yeah, and that's really, you're really banking on the depth of your team. When you lose a key player, it makes a difference if you've got some quality depth coming off your bench.
So everybody, the buzz in the tournament has been about this final game that has come true. Everybody predicted that Hong Kong and Japan would get to the final as Thailand spread it wide through Kumquat again, who gives it to Nutanong. Nice double round and cut to Sisayet. And ball's gone loose now though, but Kumquat claims it just outside the 22. Sisayet gets there. Bunyavi to Chatri. And it's gone forward though. So yeah, Hong Kong will take on Japan in the final. Basically it's winner takes all for the series, Nathan. And what do you think about the game?
Very tempted to sit on the fence, but I'm not going to do that. Mate, I've been impressed with the way Hong Kong have built today. And I think they play really well as a unit. I think they all connect very well as a team. Obviously you look at Japan, they've got game breakers on that side. So it would be easy to sit on the fence. I'm actually going to. I think Hong Kong's going to take it today. Before the start of the day, I was sort of leaning more towards Japan, but just seeing the way that Hong Kong's been operating today, I think they're just going to edge out Japan. So that's my prediction.
They've been very impressive, all right. They walloped the Philippines and then dismissed Korea. Japan had a pretty easy run though. They had to take on the Chinese in the semi-final, but you're right, they made some critical basic errors. They'll certainly be looking for improvement there.
Yeah, there's a couple of ways you can look at those tougher games. They can be good for you as far as having a good test before the final games. But as long as they haven't zapped too much energy out of the team, I suppose.
So Thailand with a free kick. Surachai. Well picked up from Chatri. Holding on to the ball nicely there, sucking some defence in. Now it goes wide to Punyavi and Kumquat. He's going to go himself. He had Sisayet in support. Sisayet gets across. Singapore in from the side and over the top. And so 10 metres as well. Just slowing the ball down. Thailand just with a 5-0 lead. They'd love another try just before half time. Here's the big fella, Chachai. He popped the ball to Kumquat. Here he is again. He's proven to be a hard man to stop. But Singapore do it. Sisayet goes down the blind side for a try, and that is their second one of the game. And some good continuity there from Thailand.
Yeah, man of that size, Mike, he's always going to commit, more than one defender, and obviously creates an opportunity in the wider channels, and they were good enough to take that opportunity on the blind side there.
So what's next? If you get some more time with the Chinese Taipei team, what sort of targets will you set in place for the next 12 months?
Yeah, the way that I sort of look at it overall is there's a really good foundation for me to build on moving forward. So all going well, I'll have that opportunity to come back and continue seeking progress with not only the Sevens team but Taiwanese rugby. Probably just apart from coaching, just trying to grow a better awareness of rugby in the country. Work on the development side of things as well is another area that I'd certainly look to target if I came back, as well as coaching.
So Thailand take the lead in this bowl final, 10 points to 0. Kumquat's been a bit off with his radar. Vignesh Krishnan slaps it back. We've seen a few untidy slapbacks so far today. Puts a lot of pressure on his teammate. Zaki rescues the situation briefly, but they've been penalised, Singapore. Sirachai wants to take it quickly, but referee Mackay getting them back on the mark. Hands in the ruck. A lot of pressure on them at ruck time areas again. Chapchai committing all those defenders. Sisayet wants to go blind again, but they decide to go open. Punyavi Kumquat runs a diagonal line and goes in the corner himself, the captain. Bit of a discussion, but really no doubt their third try of the game. And Thailand looking pretty good for the bowl silverware.
Yeah, another good example there of using their bigger men to hit the ball up and commit, one or two, three defenders, and then moving the ball to the space as they do well, the Thai boys.
One of the revelations in your team in this tournament has been the young outside back, Lu Chi Hao. He scored 3 tries in the tournament. He's shown plenty of pace.
Yeah, he has had a good day, or good tournament, along with a number of others. So yeah, like as I said earlier, it's always pleasing when you see that improvement collectively, and then certain individuals stepping up as well.
It'll be half time, and Thailand with 3 tries, none of them converted, go to the break 15 points to 0 ahead. And is there much raw material to work with in Chinese Taipei? Obviously we've seen your national squad in action. Are you monitoring the club competition? What's the standard of play like?
I haven't spent a great deal of time investigating too much, because primarily my focus has been on coaching the 7 side. But as I say, if I do come back for a longer period, I'll be certainly looking at ways to try and improve the growth and development of rugby overall in Chinese Taipei. So yeah, it's still early days. I've only had 8 weeks there, so as I say, I think the key factor is time. You just need time. The more time you have, I expect to see better results all around.
Now you're just a young coach starting out after your playing career, but you had some fantastic opportunities to learn from some of the best coaches in the game. Talk about some of the coaches that taught you the most about being a coach.
Really, as you say, really fortunate to play under some world-class coaches. To mention a couple, Steve Hansen was always a guy that I respected as a coach. Just really good at managing the players, managing the team, as well as his other skill sets or other qualities that he brings. But yeah, I mean, you learn how to manage well. You certainly remember back to how you were managed as a player, and the good and the bad from various coaches. And that certainly helped shape who you are as a coach as well. Guys like Wayne Smith, also another quality coach, played under Wayne, who's also a very good coach, as we know.
Sydney Kumar takes the high kick off, but he's been penalised. Singapore, Vignesh just running an obstructing line there, so Thailand get the chance to score first in the second half to seal this deal. Sirachai to Nutanong, throws a nice pass to Chatri. Again, in from the side, Sydney Kumar, who shouts his frustration. I think the referee was about to march him back 10, but again, it's just the players get frustrated sometimes. It's not criticism of the referee. I think we've seen a couple of times where the referees feel they're questioning the decision, but it really was just frustration from Kumar there, I think.
Yeah, I think we're all passionate men when it comes to rugby, and in the heat of the moment, you certainly see a bit of that, don't you? Mainly from the players. But obviously everyone's out there trying to do their best and achieve, and I think that's the result of coming from there.
I think in previous conversations too, you've also talked about your brother Aaron Major, who has quite a rugby brain in his head there too, yeah?
Yeah. He was, best way to sum him up, I think he was born to coach. He's just always had a really good understanding of the game, and it's certainly, I'm sure that's helping with his coaching.
And so, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's with the Canterbury setup now, is that right, or Crusaders?
Yeah, so he's one of 4 coaches. He mentioned to me recently that he will be the head of the attack for them next season. That's his role.
Canterbury or Crusaders?
That's for the Crusaders.
Crusaders, okay, so big season for them. And of course they've just signed up Namani Namdolo, one of the Japanese players. He's been playing at NEC Green Rockets for many years, and the player's had quite a frustrating career. with his discipline, but he's got a golden chance, hasn't he, to do well at the Crusaders.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how he goes in that environment. Through experience, I've seen certain individuals come into that environment from outside of Canterbury and really flourish in that environment. And there's no question about his physical attributes that he brings. So, yeah, hopefully being in that environment, really helps to make him a threat.
Singapore on the attack, but it's broken down. Thailand with a counter attack. Yeah, Nandolo. In fact, one of the first international assignments he had was 6 or 7 years ago when he was about 17 at the Singapore Cricket Club Sevens. He played for Palmyra from Perth, and he was outrageously talented and big and powerful as Nutanong puts in the kick for Sisayet. It might be perfectly judged too, although the Singaporean defence is scurrying back, and the in-goal touch judge is well positioned to see what's going on. Just letting the referee know of his findings. We have a 22 here. I think the Singaporean got back in time. Yes, indeed. That's a good chase back from Vanderput.
Yeah, with these smaller in-goals, Mike, the in-goal refs have had a little bit of work to do over the weekend, haven't they? A few calls to make there.
Yeah, the curse of the running track for rugby fields. And we've seen a few of them around in Asian rugby in their time. Korea especially seems to have a whole string of major rugby stadiums of running tracks. And lots of AstroTurf in the in-goal area. So the coach for Singapore, Anoki Afiaki, probably in quite a similar position to you, Nathan, as far as development goes and working with his players.
Yeah, that's right. Very similar based on the conversation I've had with him. He'll just be trying to make improvements where he can, and be seeking that continued growth as well.
Chatri wants to go quickly. And as Justin Sampson pointed out earlier in our coverage, Singapore actually beat Japan at sevens at one of the IRB legs a few years ago. That was a major boil over, a real feather in their cap. A one-off victory, that one though, as Thailand convert. Well, the cheering hasn't stopped, even though Singapore have been under the cosh for 10 minutes in this bowl final. Good vociferous support from Singapore. You enjoying the stadium here, enjoying the setup?
Yeah, it's not too bad. First time in Singapore, so certainly enjoying Singapore. It's, you certainly see the appeal as to why a lot of foreigners come here to work and live.
So a penalty there, like that, for Thailand. Unusual decision, but soaked up a bit of time on the clock, I guess, and put the result beyond doubt.
Singapore have hardly had any possession, have they? So here's a chance for them to see what they can come up with. But and that's been one of the major factors in this game here, Mike, is Thailand have really just controlled that ball, haven't they, well, and turned that into points.
So, Sri Lanka, they're third on the series ladder, and you'll be taking them on in the plate final. They've had a pretty poor tournament here so far. What have you told your players building up to that game?
Yeah, certainly consider that an upset earlier on with China beat them. So just to stick to what's working is what I'll be saying to our players. That was what we learned in our last game, what works. So as long as they go out there and try and execute that as best they can, I'll be happy.
Vignesh Krishnan takes the ball into contact. Charlie Yau's with him. Vignesh is trying to extract that ball, but the Thai wouldn't let him go. It was Chirapun, who we haven't seen much of this tournament. Ariola's on the field, it's Chow. It'll be good for the crowd to get one try as Yao snipes around the blind side. Good work. Cutting in field now. The pressure's building here, and the midfield was empty of defenders. If they can get this
numbers
out
to
quickly.
the right.
Yes, if they can get it out quickly. And they decide to go the straight route, millimetres away, so they'll play another penalty 5 metres out. Yeah. It goes over to Muhammad Zaki, who scores his second try of the tournament. Finally, the crowd have really got something to cheer about. Good comeback from the Singaporean team. They try to convert quickly, but that's the end of the game. So Thailand take out the bowl final here in the Singapore leg of the HSBC Asian Sevens, 18 points to 5. Nathan Major, I know you have to get down for the warm-ups. Thanks very much for joining us in the commentary box, and all the best for the future.
My pleasure, Mike. Thanks very much. Thanks.